Hey coin collectors, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to talk about the 1986 Lincoln 1 cent coin from the United States. We're going to talk about the grading colors that they have for these coins, red, brown, and brown. And we're going to talk about another coin that came out in 1986, the American Silver Eagle, whether it was a great investment or not. So first though, let's take a look at these coins here. We have a 1986 S, and this is one of the ones where if you change the light on it, you can see that this is a deep cameo S, just a beautiful coin, a little bit of junk on the top there. The S coins were proof coins that were made at the San Francisco Mint, and they made about 3.8 million of them. If you get a really good one, it can be worth as much as $200 these days. You can get this in a proof 70, which is the highest graded coin that PCGS has. And you see it has a smooth edge here. You can get this in a proof 70 for under $200. So take a look at these, but just remember, because it's a proof coin, it doesn't have quite the value that some of the other coins have. These coins only came in a proof set. On the back, you see it says United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, 1 cent here. Lincoln way down there in the center. A couple urns or vases here. An FG over there for Frank Gasparo. Just a sweet coin. Of course, by 1986, we moved from the copper coins to the copper-plated zinc coins. And that's why you can see this kind of bubbling in it if you tip it back and forth. That's because this is simply a copper coating on top of a zinc coin. They also made these at the Denver Mint. And if you notice this one, it's just bright and shiny. This is probably the definition of a red coin. The PCGS website grades these coins as red, brown, or brown. And all of the proof coins should be a red. There shouldn't even be any red-brown because they're specially packaged. They're treated very differently, the proof coins. Now, if you get one that looks like a proof coin, but that's a Denver Mint coin like this one, again, some junk on the top there, magnify it up a little bit. And you see that the detail isn't quite as good as it could be here, but it's pretty darn good. If you get a Denver Mint coin that looks as red as a proof coin, that's what you're going for when you look for the high values, because the redder it is, the better it is in terms of value and grading. At Denver, they made $4.4 billion. The auction record is $7,840 for Mint State 69 red. Current price of Mint State 69 red is $3,250. They found 10 of them. Again, smooth edge, and again, just a really sweet back on this one also, just with a couple little spots on it, probably from the curing process. And then finally, we have a 1986. This one came out of a mint set. And so when you do buy a mint set, if you get a chance, look in it first. Because if it has this kind of spotting on it, it's not a huge value. In fact, a lot of people don't want to have these coins with all the spotting. At Philadelphia, and you can tell it's Philadelphia because there's no mint mark there. Denver, of course, has the D mint mark, and San Francisco has the S mint mark. So if you get no mint mark, that means it's Philly. And at Philly, they made $4.5 billion also. Auction record is $2,400, but that's only because that was a Mint State 68 plus red. They found 2 Mint State 69 reds, and the PCGS is graded, and those are valued at $12,500. The fewer you have and the higher the grading, the more the money with these kind of coins. Let's take a look at what the difference is between a red coin, a brown coin, a red-brown coin, and how the Professional Grading Service defines them. One of the things we don't talk about very much is the difference between pennies in terms of grading, and how they have a red penny, a brown penny, and then in between a red-brown penny. So the most expensive ones are going to be the red pennies, those ones at the top. Red-brown are going to be in the middle, and brown at the bottom. And so if we look at these specifically, you can really see the difference when you put them all together. But this is from the PCGS website, And you can see a red penny just has that red as if it just came right out of the mint. Definition of a red coin for PCGS grading is a coin that has at least 95% red and up to 100% red surfaces. That extra percentage over the 95% is what really makes the value of the coin. If you're looking for a red-brown coin, and this is a spectacular example of it because of the rainbow colors on here, a red-brown coin is a coin that's 5 to 95% red surfaces, but some brown in it. Finally, the brown coin, and you can see just mostly all brown, maybe 1 to 5% red, maybe a little bit more than that red, but in general, a brown coin is exactly as it says, a brown one. And those differences in colors are going to make a difference in prices. All right, we're back with our coins now. And these two coins that I have here are a little bit special because they have this kind of funny little rim line on them. And when I first saw these on the 1986s, I thought, wow, I'm doing pretty good. Got this specialty coin that was just hit really hard. And you can actually see that the rim line up near the top there, if I tip it up, actually sticks out a little bit. It's actually off the coin. So I think what happened was the back side hit so hard it pushed through. And then this one here, you can see it has partial rim line on there. Not quite the same. Here's another one with the same kind of rim line on it. So when I first got this one, I thought, wow, that's a great one. Of course, this is a brown mostly because of it's been handled so much. This line comes up so frequently in the 1986s, it's not a specialty at all if you get one that's kind of punched through like that. When you make 9 billion of anything, you're going to get some kind of funky coins. And unless it's a specific era, then they aren't going to be worth much more. We said we'd talk about the 1986 American Eagle. That was the first year they came out. It's a 99.93% silver. You can see the 1986 down here. No mint mark on these, of course, because they were made by the U.S. Mint, but there's only one type of them, and these are what we call bullion coins. You see 1 ounce fine silver, $1. Now, it says it's 1 ounce of fine silver, so what that means is it actually weighs 31.1 grams, so that it can get a full ounce of silver in it at 99.93%. These coins, when they first came out, cost $20-something. Currently, they're up to about $73, silver melt value alone, and probably around $110 to $120 if you try to buy one on the open market. What if you had invested and bought one of these in 1986? Remember, 1986 was 40 years ago. Now it's worth $120, so you may have gained a little under $100 on it in those 40 years. But if you had taken that $20 and invested it in the S&P 500 stocks, you would now have about $1,462. All right, so we have the San Francisco, we have the Denver, and we have the Philadelphia versions of this 1986 penny. Could be worth as much as $12,000 if you get the right one. That's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.